Welcome to Bear Insight, everyone. My name is Cole. I am the host of this show. If you like what you see today, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, everyone. We got a special guest. This is my first ever baseball player I'm actually going to be interviewing. So I'm very excited about this. He is a right-handed pitcher, right-handed reliever for the Campbell Camels, and he's been there for a long time, has experienced success, and he also has his own podcast. He has been one of the co-hosts for Just a Pod. Let's give it up for Garret Kangas.
What's up, everybody? I'm Garret Kangas.
How you doing, Garret?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good, bro. Can't complain. Life is good. So let's get to this interview, shall we? I mean, you've been playing baseball for a while now, and I mean, baseball is different compared to football. So how did you get into baseball? What led you to this path?
When I was a really young kid, I didn't really even play baseball. I just played soccer. But my dad played baseball in college, so like once I started playing rec baseball and whatever, I liked it. And then that kind of leads into travel, and then that leads into, oh wow, like I might be able to do this in college. Like you get to that realization that's like, yeah, man, like this is what I want to do. So you got to start taking it real serious. So I would say just mainly got into baseball just because of my dad, just because he played in college and whatnot. So that kind of motivated me to want to play and then want to be better. So
Where did he play? Just curiously.
he played. He started at JUCO at Gulf Coast State College in Florida, and then he went to the University of South Alabama.
Mhm. Yeah, okay. That's not bad at all. And what's ironic is that both of you are Division One baseball players. So kind of give us your story. Like, how did you get to Campbell?
Um, it's kind of a. It's not. I don't really have like a lot of guys have like a big like long drawn out story or whatever, but
Mhm.
mine's pretty short. I think it was the summer after my sophomore year. I started getting kind of some interest from schools or whatever, and so like my coach sat me down. He was like, "I want you to make a list of schools you want to go to or whatever, schools that you feel like you feel like you can play at, and then like dream schools and like all that." And like I felt like Campbell fell right in that dream school and like school that I have a good chance to be able to play at. Um, so they were right there at the top of the list. And then my coach called Campbell. We were playing in a tournament down in Georgia that like all the coaches go to watch. So and then they ended up coming and watching me, and I think they ended up offering me like a couple weeks later or something like that. So it's pretty simple, but at the same time, it's pretty cool how it worked out.
Were there any other schools that you were interested in, or was it more dead set on just I'm going to Campbell?
Um, there were definitely other schools that I had interest in, but like once I talked to Coach Hare and everything, and kind of toward the school and walked around, and like I'm from a small high school in a small town, so like I just knew it was the place for me, and I like
Mhm.
never really thought about going anywhere else once I got that call.
Right. No, it makes sense. If you like what you have, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
So yeah, baseball is a very long season. I mean, right now, as we're currently speaking, they're going through the playoffs right now and the World Series, and that's on top of the rigors. It's not compared to the MLB,
Right.
but it's still pretty long. So, what makes you motivated? Because what you guys do in the spring is very, very demanding.
Yeah. Um, I feel like you go through the fall in general is a good motivation because like the fall is tough, and if you make it through the fall, like not necessarily tough like grueling or anything. It's just tough as you're not getting to play ball. Like it's your semester. Like it's for football, it's spring, but you guys are still like having the spring game and everything. In the fall for us, like it's just inter squads, lifting, practice. Like that's pretty much what we do, and it's fun. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like being able to grind through that and everything just is really makes you want to play in the spring. You know what I mean? Like it makes that 56 or 54 game season, I can't remember exactly, it makes it feel a lot shorter because you've been waiting all year for it. Like as you guys like you guys get to play in the fall, so as soon as you get to school you play and then you're done. So like for
True.
us it's like such a big build up. It gets to the point where it's like you're just so ready to play, you just got to lock in for the season and just be ready to go.
Okay. Well, when you said make it through, like, do you guys like in the sense like do they bring like extra players and then I mean, you kind of go through like a spring ballish type of thing and then they have to cut players?
No, not typically. Typically everybody who's there is ends up rostered in the spring or like redshirting or whatever. But like, it's just the ability to just maintain focus and be smart in the fall and do what you need to do to be physically and mentally and all that prepared for the season. So I feel like less of like I guess I worded it as making it through. I probably more like just grinding through and knowing what's best for you so that you can set yourself up for the season.
When you talk about training mentally, this ironically it leads to the next question. It's just how do you prepare yourself for like a pregame or when you're getting ready for a game? Because there's times I know you probably have to go game to game to game. And so how do you stay focused and like what are some of like your pregame like routines per se?
Um, for me, I typically try to keep it like pretty simple. I think the best thing you can do, in my opinion, just to stay ready is just like find a way to keep yourself calm before the game. Like I mean, obviously I like to get hyped up, listen to music, whatever, but like I guess my routine is every time we finish BP, so we shag BP, the pitchers shag BP, and then we finish up. I go inside, I get my energy drink, I get my water or whatever. I get a small snack, and I just go outside and I sit by myself, just to kind of like. Sometimes I meditate, sometimes I don't, but like it's more of just to ground myself and like understand like I'm here for a reason. I don't have to freak out about pitching. I don't got to freak out about winning. I don't got to freak out about losing. Just be yourself. Be the best competitor you can be, and do what you can to get your team a win. And that's kind of how I approach it every time I come in the game. Is like what I always say is just find a way to give your team a chance to win. It's not all about well, it's not really all about at all like individual performances in baseball just because it's such a long game and such a long season. So I just think about it as like give my team a chance to win, and then if I don't do that one outing, just bounce back, do it again the next outing because you're going to have another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and when you talk about BP, I mean, I know it, but could you explain it to the audience because they probably might not know that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, like so before the game, both teams typically hit batting practice, which is BP.
Mhm,
So like our hitters will hit or whatever, and the pitchers typically just shag like in the
mhm.
outfield, you just catch the balls, throw them back into the bucket or whatever, so that we can keep it clean and get things done.
Okay. Yeah, and when you talk about just having like those outings and like successful baseball players, you have gone through a lot of good competition. Eastern Carolina, for an example, I mean, you guys have played them. They're now in the playoffs. I mean, there are other baseball players, I mean, that really, really good. And so what do you think makes the qualities of those like when you see like football per se, it's like you look at someone's get off or you look at someone's vertical, like what makes a good quality baseball player? Or like what stands out between the special baseball players and the not so special baseball players?
That's a really good question. I should have thought about this answer more. Um, let's see. So I would say honestly, like athleticism plays a part. Like you got to be an athlete, you got to be able to throw, run, catch, hit, whatever.
Mhm.
But I think, in my opinion, what just separates like the tiers from each other is really it has a lot to do with just mentality and how you prepare, how you focus, like how well you can bounce back. Like I said, because and like you said, I mean, we play a long season. It's like a 56 game season or something like that, and you're going to throw more than once in that 56 game season, and you're going to throw bad at some point, or you're going to have a bad hitting game at some point, and you just the best players in the world are able to a bounce back from that, and b take their failures and push them aside, learn from them, and create success. So I feel like if you have, say, if I got a bad outing on the mound or whatever, and I know that I didn't have good fastball control that day. See, I would take that and I'd work on that. And I know going into my next outing, I would be more confident in my fastball because I've worked on that. So kind of just like taking a shortcoming of your own or something from one specific outing or day at the plate and just building off of it, I would say.
Right. Gotcha. And so with that, um, after those games, I know there's going to be recovery, and I know pitchers they have a different type of system because there's multiple pitchers. How do you recover after pitching a game?
So I would say that pretty much everybody does something different. Like everybody you'll meet is gonna
Mhm.
do something different. Because it's their body and it's however they want to do it. And
Understand.
so, like for me, I like to obviously get a good meal that night. Try to get like some tart cherry juice or something just to like relieve pain and swelling or whatever that's for. I can't even remember. I think it's to relieve swelling. And then
Mm.
uh and then just get some good sleep, like try to get between any day I pitch or a day before a game or anything, I like to get 8 hours. I don't like to sleep too much because when I sleep too much, it kind of takes me a while to get out of that tired phase. And then I got to get out of that and drink an energy drink or something to get like locked in. And I don't like being artificial per se. Um, so I like to get like 8 or 9 hours and just kind of get like an average night of sleep. And then like we obviously see our trainer too and stuff. Shout out Nolan. Um, like we got cupping, scraping, combo work, just like massage, flush, like all those things. Like I don't have a specific one, man. Like when it comes to recovery, it's really just whatever I'm feeling. So like if I throw on a Thursday or on a Friday, and then they want me to be ready to go for Saturday or Sunday, like I'm probably gonna do something a little lighter in terms of recovery because like even types of recovery can put stress on your arm, or make you sore. Like dry needling is gonna make you sore. But
Mm.
I do like doing dry needling, like if it's 2 or 3 days before a game or whatever, and I can get that full recovery in from the dry needling, and I feel a lot better. So
Mhm.
I would say there's a
After
lot of ways to approach it.
Okay. After like games, like does like the arm like tend to like swell up after because I know there is a pitch count and I know those coaches determine what type and just all that, but like does that happen per se?
Um, not you're not necessarily gonna get like actual visible swelling, but like your arm is just gonna be fatigued. You micro tear all those muscles no matter what. Like just like when you're weightlifting, you break them down to build them back up again, which is part of the reason you got to take care of your arm. Like your elbow is not at all meant to absorb the force that it absorbs when you throw a baseball. So like your actual like UCL, your ulnar collateral ligament, which is like here, which is what Tommy John surgery is.
Okay.
Is it's actually I'm pretty sure it's like only supposed to be able to absorb a certain amount of force, and like the amount of force is like a 60-mile-an-hour fastball.
Really?
So like the guys who are throwing like 100 miles an hour are like almost doubling the amount of force they're supposed to put on their elbow and stuff like that. I could be wrong about the miles per hour there, but I know that like a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, your elbow's like not supposed to be able to do it.
Okay. And well then well, I mean, they probably weightlift a lot, but like is there some sort of like after like the fact is there like some sort of like multiplier or something? Because that's interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, so nah, I mean I wouldn't say that. I would just say that the reason that a lot of guys get hurt is because they don't build up properly. So
Mhm.
if you're going to be throwing at high velocities, you have to build yourself up to throw at high velocities, right? So if you're going to throw a fastball at 90 miles an hour, like you got to take some time during your throwing, especially if you've taken time off. So like say you take a month off, like you got to take some time, like stretch your arm out, build it up, build the velo up slowly, and that's the way you can get that, like I guess you would say, load management on your arm.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no, that is awesome. I mean, and kind of going back to competition per se, like how is that like with just the pitcher, like with your guys per se, and because it's different, but how do you like take approach with competition?
Um, for me, I just think of every game as the exact same. No matter like what, if it's a championship game, if it's a midweek game, if it's a weekend game, if it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like I think that the best way to mess yourself up is to care about the opponent you're facing. Um, because any team in the country can beat any team in the country on any given day. Because everybody's talented. It's Division 1 baseball. Like everybody's talented. Everybody can hit. Everybody can pitch. Like, so I think the best thing for me is usually just treating everybody like they're the exact same opponent. Every game's Game 7 of the World Series. You got to win. So I think that's the best way for me to approach competition. In the sense of like I'm a competitor. Like I think of myself as a competitor. Like I want to compete and I want to win. So I think about everybody else as a competitor and think about them as like an equal competitor. Then that takes one less thing out of my mind that I like have to think about. Like I don't need to think about like, oh, what like this kid's the number 20 player in the country. Oh my God, he's gonna go in the first round. Like the kid hitting after him is may not be as highly touted, but I guarantee he's a good hitter. You know what I mean? Like you got to think of everybody the exact same.
Yep. Do you start implementing that in practice, or is it just you just go in the game like, oh yeah, I'm the competitor?
Um, I kind of have like a switch that I flip. To be honest with you, like even during the games, like until I get maybe sent down to the bullpen or like told to start playing catch or whatever, like I'm pretty like loose in the dugout, like cracking jokes, whatever,
Mhm.
chirping it up. But like as soon as it's my time to like to go out there and to go compete, like I just kind of flip a switch, try to lock in. Well, not try to lock in. I do lock in, but sometimes obviously it doesn't go well. But um, yeah, just kind of flip a switch, lock in, and try to go do whatever my team needs me to do. And then if I can't, then do it again next time. You know what I mean?
Okay. And yeah, when you talk about the games, we're going to transition. You were talking about games and just cracking jokes. You've been in a lot of games per se. What were
Right.
some of the games that have been the most memorable for you?
Um, like that I've played in or that I've been a part of.
It could be both.
Okay, so that I've actually pitched in, I would probably say my freshman year, when we beat NC State at home, getting to throw in that game was fun. My freshman year also I threw at ODU. I came in bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth, up two with 2 outs and got the guy out. That was fun, and then getting to throw in the conference tournament my freshman year. Um, and then this year, I would say I really enjoyed. Hmm. I just enjoy pitching, man. It's hard to tell, but as a team, obviously the Tennessee region my freshman year, South Carolina region last year were awesome. Getting to go to Lafayette last year was really cool. I guess they want to be called Louisiana now. So getting to go to Louisiana last year was really cool. Um, ECU is always a great time. UNC is always a great time. So we've been to a lot of really cool places, and I've gotten to been blessed enough to experience a lot of cool atmospheres. So
Amen to that. Yeah. So with all that being said, there have been we're pretty successful per se in the sense of we've gone to areas where very few can say, "Oh yeah, I played Division 1 somewhere," or if not, they've gone higher. And I know there's people that are looking at this video. Maybe they want to become a right-handed pitcher, or maybe they want to become a hitter. What do you think would be the one piece of advice you would say to those people talk that if you were able to talk to them right now?
I would say one, there's a place for anybody. There's JUCO, D3, NAI, D2, Division 1. Like if you don't come out of high school with that D1 offer, don't get discouraged. Like find your path. Division 3 guys get drafted too. It happens. So I would say first off, there's a place for anybody. I would say second off, identify where you are. Be real with yourself about where you can go to school, what you can do. Like, for example, coming out of high school, like I knew I wasn't an SEC guy. You know what I mean? Like I knew like I'm not gonna go pitch in the SEC right now. Like I'm throwing 82 miles an hour. Like it's not gonna happen. So do that. Do those two things, and then work really hard on yourself. Um, be a competitor in the sense that you want to beat the other team, but be a competitor also in the sense that you want to better yourself. You know, really just put in time and effort to do whatever it is you're best at. And then if say you're hitting or pitching or whatever, like also just don't be afraid to work on your weaknesses as well, because you want your weaknesses to become your strengths.
Yeah, no, those are great things, and you can apply those to anywhere, in my opinion. So,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's just
is
like I
there
mean, in football too, man. Like you can go anywhere. There's a place for you. If you want
right,
to play college football, there's a place for you. Like it may be on the other side of the country, but there's a place for you. You
right?
know what I mean?
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you in that statement. Whether you're NIA all the way up to Division 1, I feel like anyone who gets there is a baller because
Yeah,
a lot of people wish they played collegiately.
yeah,
So,
and there's a lot of people who feel like they wanted to play collegiate, but like a school in the state of, let's say you're from Georgia and you're like, nobody from Georgia, Alabama, Florida offered me. Well, there's this Division 2 school in Arizona that you could have went and played at every day, and like that's what I mean by like don't be afraid to stop searching for a school because there is a place for you. I promise.
you're so true about that. But yeah, is there anything else that you would like to say?
I really appreciate you having me on, man. I wish you the best of luck next season, and I hope you have a good one.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, bro. We've had our good times. I mean, yeah, I'm excited for this next opportunity. I mean, again, I mean, you got some years left. I'm always gonna be rooting for you. I'm always gonna be rooting for the guys back at Campbell who I've been very close with. So it's
Absolutely,
good.
man.
And so yeah, we'll stay in touch for sure. I mean, again, thank you again for being on here. And if you guys are looking also for a good podcast, just the pod. He's got his
Yeah,
friends, and yeah, I actually listened to some videos, and they were really, really good.
I appreciate that, man. Hey, just stay smooth for me, all right?
I always stay smooth, my guy.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, Campbell pitcher himself, Garret Kangas. If you like what you saw today, like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Everyone, stay safe.